What's going on, everybody? It's LukeTheDuke and welcome back to the channel. Now, I don't have a full ARC breakdown video for you today. Sorry, but since I do cover a ton of other games like The Division, Outriders, The Day Before, other various first-person shooters, I even tried covering Dark and Darker, but telling people that based on the facts, Iron Mace is in real trouble gets you nothing but hateful rage and drama. Point being, since I do cover a variety of titles, I sometimes miss very evident details about each of these. Case in point, this article and the topic from Half Glass Gaming. As always, I will include a link to this article down in the video description and pinned comments below. I always encourage you to go check these things out on your own. You may find some little nugget of information that I don't cover that may help you in your quest to learn more about what is going on with ARC. Now, as of the posting of my video, this article was, 2 days ago, so April the 11th, titled, "Why is Studio Wildcard Still Selling ARC Survival Evolved?" And by the way, in case you can't tell, this is completely unscripted today. I'm a little bit time poor, so we're just going to read through this together. But it makes some interesting points here. The official servers for the last-gen version, aka the current version at the time of this writing of ARC Survival Evolved, are getting shut down at the end of August of 2023. Everything we already knew. This will only allow players to either solely play the single-player game or play multiplayer via player-run unofficial servers. Again, everything we already knew from the Community Crunch post. The reason for this, apparently, it's not apparently, it's confirmed, is that ARC 2 has been delayed out of 2023, so Studio Wildcard is going to release a current-gen updated version of the original ARC titled ARC Survival Ascended. Everything I've covered in these previous videos, I've actually posted, 4 ARC Survival videos. I'll link them all in the video description. Go check them out, especially that one where I break down all of the math about the previous pre-order bundle to the current offer. That one's kind of interesting. Anyway, let's continue on with the article. It says, now, this was initially a pretty exciting announcement. I mean, who wouldn't want a current-gen version of this dinosaur-filled survival game? Even for PC players, the prospect of playing an updated version of ARC on a new engine with vaguely defined quality-of-life improvements is pretty tantalizing. Again, they kind of teased all of this over in the last Community Crunch. Pretty much everything they were listing out that I was seeing were already additions that were added as part of the upgrade to the Unreal Engine 5. So they're touting things that the engine can do, not so much upgrades to the game. But anyway, it says, the problem is that this is a paid upgrade. Of course, we covered this. They offered it for free in January. Now they're saying it's $60 with no plan for anyone to get a discounted or even free update for those who already own the current version of ARC. Very good point. Earlier this year, City Skylines, a title I've never covered, released an admittedly underwhelming current-gen upgrade that was free for anyone who owned the previous version. Saves didn't carry over, but not having to pay for this upgrade lessened the sting quite a bit, at least for me. The me is the author of this. And that's to say nothing of games like, and I didn't even think of this, these are the things that I miss as I cover so many titles, No Man's Sky or Hitman 3, which simply gave current-gen players free upgrades without wiping saves or anything. I mean, we can harken back to the fact that it was teased in January that the UE5 upgrade was going to be free, and then it became a $50 bundle, now a $60 bundle. ARC 2 was in, ARC 2 was out. Let's continue on. So for Studio Wildcard to pull the rug on the current fan base, none of whom asked for this development, only to then ask for money for the newer version, is pretty sus, if you ask me. That's directly from the article. It's not just pretty sus, it's completely sus. Now here's where it starts to get a little more interesting. At first, there was a $50 upgrade bundle that included the now delayed, still upcoming ARC 2. Of course, we've not seen any footage for that game yet. This is a somewhat nice gesture, I guess, but considering Studio Wildcard has yet to even release gameplay footage, very good point, of ARC 2 or even detail what players will actually be able to expect from the sequel, other than the dulcet tones of a digitized Vin Diesel, yes, it feels a little slimy. And this is possibly even suggesting there isn't much faith that ARC 2 will be available to stand on its own once it finally does release. That's a point I see a lot of you making in the video comments as I read through these last 4 videos that I posted, is that you're reading these very basic descriptions about Souls-like gameplay, strict what is it, third-person view, things like that for Ark 2, and a lot of that is turning you off, at least for those of you that have been playing the original Ark Survival Evolved for the last 7 or 8 years. Continuing on to this article, however, this was quickly walked back once Studio Wildcard, who somehow couldn't tell that pissing off their players was a bad move, and they just completely jumped into this huge pile of shit, received a tidal wave of backlash, and now players would simply be able to purchase Ark Survival Ascended for without the sequel included, and for a higher price, all information we knew. To circle back to the headline that got you to click on this article in the first place, listen to this. If Ark, a game originally intended as a multiplayer experience, will effectively be a single-player only game unless you run an unofficial server after August, for those who don't want to buy into Survival Ascended, here's the question. Why is Studio Wildcard still selling Ark Survival Evolved? That's the point that I forgot to touch on. They are still selling this game full price, no disclosures over on Steam, and I actually jumped over to the PlayStation Store, and I'll show you that in a second. They're doing the exact same thing. They're selling these bundles for PS4, which, by the way, PS4 will not be included in ASA. It will be nixed and will be left in the past, probably because it's an old console, but there's still a ton of people out there that own a PS4 and have not been able to pony up and pay for that upgraded price to get to a PS5. They're still selling these bundles. Full price, no disclosures. Even now as I type this, you can currently get Ark Ultimate Survival Edition on sale on the PSN store for $24.99, down from the original asking price of $49.99. So they're doing us a favor, but still. And if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber, that goes down to $19.99. This version includes a bevy of DLC and add-on content, everything a new player needs to get up to speed and enjoy everything the game has to offer. Listen to this though, but nowhere in the description on the store page, so they're talking about the PlayStation Store, does it state that the servers will be shutting off at the end of August. So if you're looking for a hassle-free online experience, you have been forewarned. Yeah, you're forewarned if you read this article. It says nothing about it actually in the retail portion of the store for PlayStation. If PC is more your speed, you can also pick up Ark Survival Evolved on Steam for $19.99. Again, there's no mention in the game description that the servers will be shutting down. Now, I suppose you could dig through announcements on the Steam page and eventually find this information, but Studio Wildcard is certainly not going out of their way to put this information front and center. Of course not. They want that sweet, sweet cheddar. They're going to get it all, and then they're going to switch it off and say, well, you should have read the store. It's buried on page 36 in subsection B, article 2. I mean, come on. This feels incredibly underhanded. That's the author stating that. Absolutely it is. If, for a loose comparison, I bought a car that came with OnStar-like service, he says if OnStar is still even a thing, but only then later learned that I would need to launch my own satellite for this service to work, I would feel pretty burned. Yeah, you would. So, yes, this is a ridiculous example, but the sentiment, I think, is what's important. If you buy a product that boasts about its features, only to find out those features are rapidly approaching their expiration date, it kind of feels like a misrepresentation of the value of the thing that's being purchased. Perfect summation of what's going on. Wildcard, Snail, there's no disclosures about what they're planning to do. They're just still splashing this product out there like it's going to continue on and on and on into the future, and it's not. Here's a novel idea. Since this game will be greatly diminished in its future form as far as the ease of connectivity, and since there is a newer version on the horizon, why in the world doesn't Wildcard pull this version of Ark off the storefront and simply offer pre-orders for the newer version, which is the only version that will actively be supported just a few months from now? I disagree with that. I don't think they should be splashing that out there for sale just yet, especially at that initial asking price of $60. I still think they're going to come down on that. Fingers crossed. I mean, you can imagine how it would feel if this original version simply continues to be offered for purchase and someone buys it mere days before the servers get cut and the new version becomes available for purchase. And then this article finishes up, so why are Studio Wildcard, Sony, Microsoft, and I'm glad the author names them in there because they were equally guilty in this, and PC storefronts still selling this version of Ark at all? Excellent question. Without a warning that what you buy today might not be what you can effectively play later. Then again, after watching this entire fiasco unfold, I guess I'm not surprised that the consumer's best interests are not factoring into the decisions of the developer, publisher, and digital game retailers. Bravo to Julian Watkins in this article from Half Glass Gaming posted April 11th. Once again, links in the video description and pinned comments. Excellent points, just very basic, and that very basic point about why is the game still on sale with no disclosures about what's going to be happening in August. Perfect summation. I highly recommend you guys go check out this article. And just to prove to you, here's Steam Ark Survival Evolved. You can buy Ark Survival Evolved standalone at $19.99. You can also buy Ark Ultimate Survival Edition bundle, 38% off for all the DLCs, all those expansion maps, etc., for $49.55 on Steam. But nowhere in the description of this game does it say, be forewarned, we're going to be changing things in August. A newer version, the updated UE5 version, is coming out. By the way, you can see over here, I don't know if you can see it on the screen, it says recent reviews are mixed. The game's starting to get review bombed quite a bit. So that's kind of to be expected. I'm looking down through the description. I don't see anything about the game and what's going to be happening in August with ASA. There's no disclosures. They're just selling it fully out there. You can see the mixed reviews over here. Yeah, it's getting hit pretty hard. And I covered this in yesterday's video. There are people with just so little hours that are receiving free copies of the game that are now commenting and giving the game a positive review score. So apparently Wildcard and Snail are doing their best to try to offset those negative reviews by giving away free copies and then asking people to leave a thumbs up. Here's somebody with 19 hours, 14 hours. It says good. Thumbs up. 19 hours. Very fun. I covered one yesterday. It says dinosaur grr, and it got a thumbs up. So they're doing their best to push back against this negative press campaign. And just so you can see it, here is the PlayStation Store Ark Survival Evolved. Save 75%. Offer ends 4/26/23. So that's in what, 2 weeks? It says add to cart. It says nothing about a new version is coming out. They're just still selling it at full bang here by itself. And if you scroll down a little bit, Ultimate Survival Edition is $19.99. I believe that's in pounds over there. So yeah, save 50%. Offer ends 4/12/2023. So I guess that was yesterday. But once again, no disclosures anywhere here on the PlayStation Store about what's going to be happening in August, and the fact that the PS4 version is essentially toast. If you happen to like the video and my continued coverage of Ark, please take just a moment to smash that big, beautiful subscribe button, and while you're at it, ring the notifications bell to receive my latest upload alerts. If you could take a few seconds more to rate and or share this video, that would also be greatly appreciated. You can find and follow me over on Twitch, Twitter, and of course in my open community Discord server, links to all of which can be found in the video description and pinned comments below. A huge shout out to the over 116,000 of you that have taken the leap and hit subscribe, and as always, a special thanks to my patrons over on Patreon. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer, signing off.
System of failure.